all of you. As of now, we are total 51. Very less number of cadets are there. So mark your attendance. All of you. We will be starting shortly. 2 minutes are left. In between that, you can mark your attendance. Mark your attendance. Hey प्रणव, इसमें ना ओल्ड फाइल में है, किसको देना सर? मैडम को। इसमें ओल्ड फाइल करके होगा, खोलो हम बता दे रहे फट से, मैडम को जाकर दे दो। हम दे दे। हाँ, अरे मेरे क्लास है यार, 50 हो गया ऑल में। ओल्ड नहीं, पीछे जाओ। हाँ, EBSP पेंटिंग फिक्स 5 दे दो। हाँ 5। लिखा नहीं रहा ठीक से। So let us start. Today we are going to start chapter number 1 of history. A very interesting chapter which determines and which gives us lots of information about the past. Since we all know that history is the study, it is the subject about which give information about our past. Okay. Can anyone tell me that who is considered as the father of history? Father of history. Who is considered as father of history? Can anyone answer me? Yeah, Sanjay Rao, Herodotus. Okay. So, in first chapter of history, we will see about how the study of history. See, first of all, let me make one thing very clear. History is divided into 3 parts. Indian history. I'm talking about Indian history. Please listen it very carefully. Indian history is divided into 3 parts. In 6th standard, you might have studied also. Yeah, you are studying it. That James Mill divided history on the basis of religion into 3 parts: Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity. But the modern Indian historians, based upon the events and the personalities or the rulers that were ruling in India from different time periods in different areas. The modern Indian historians divided Indian history into three parts, that is ancient, medieval, and modern. Ancient, medieval, and modern. Okay, what were the three parts? Ancient, medieval, and modern. Why this is important? Why I am telling this? Because you will understand it in the latter part of our session. Ancient, medieval, and modern. This is the three. The Indian history is divided into three parts: ancient, medieval, and modern. Okay. Ancient, we have studied in standard 6 regarding Harappan civilization, Maurya, Guptas, okay, Harshvardhana, Nalanda University. Now, in standard 7, we will read or study about medieval history, okay, middle history. Its time period is considered as 700 or 750 to 1750 AD. Okay, and this one till 750 AD, and this is 1750 up to 1947 AD. So, why it is important? Because in standard 7 we will be studying about medieval history. Okay, in standard 7 we will be studying about medieval history, where we will be knowing how the medieval, how in this period, that is 750 to 1750 AD, between 700 to 1750 AD roughly or approximately, what were the changes that occurred initially? What were the changes that occurred initially? How this period was known as a period of many changes, because most of the attackers or most of the people who attacked India came from different parts of the world, like Central Asia, Turkestan, so many, Turkeys. Okay, so this period is known as the period which was seen or which went through different changes in Indian subcontinent. Okay, now what is subcontinent? India is Indian subcontinent. What is Indian subcontinent? Because in India itself, a subcontinent is an area where people from different community, people from different ethnic groups come together, live together in a peaceful and harmonious manner, and they practice their different cultures, different traditions, but they are united. That is subcontinent, that area, geographical area, which has this kind of feature, where the people from different community, people from different ethnic groups, ethnic groups, live together, follow their own culture, but they live in harmony with togetherness. That is known as subcontinent. Okay, so ancient in standard 6 you have studied, in standard 7 you will be studying medieval, and in standard 8 next year you will be studying modern Indian history about freedom struggle and how India got independence. That is modern history. So this thing I wanted to tell you before the introduction of the chapter, because some idea must be there in the mind that why we were studying in standard 6 about the ancient history, about Harappan civilization, Mauryan Empire, Gupta Empire, and other parts, and now we are studying about different culture, traditions, and changes that occurred in India. Okay, so the first chapter is So tracing changes through 1,000 years. This is the name of the first chapter. 750 to 1750 AD. 750 to 1750 AD. During this period, this is 1,000 year time. Okay, 1,000 year. Here it is. What changes occurred in this period? Who were the people who started the changes? Who are the people who are affected by these changes? And what is the meaning of tracing? Trace. From trace, the word tracing has come. Trace, that means to find out. Okay. Trace means that is to find out in the past. Okay. What changes occurred in the past? We will be tracing. We will be finding, looking after those changes which occurred in the past. Okay. That is the meaning of trace. Or from trace, it has become tracing. So you can note it down from trace. Trace means looking or going through the changes, finding out the changes that occurred in the past. Finding out the changes that occurred in the past. That is, finding out the changes that occurred in the past. This is known as tracing. Okay, finding out the changes that occurred in the past. Now, see, students, this chapter is very much related with the initial changes and how the different geographers, how the different people came to know about India. Because in standard 6, if you recollect in your memory, that we studied mostly about the areas or the kingdoms, about the kingdoms which were confined only to Indian subcontinent, okay, including present day Pakistan also. That time it was India itself till 1947. So no much change was considered or remarkable, no much remarkable changes were there from which were influenced from outside world, outside the subcontinent, Indian subcontinent. But in this part, we will see how the Indian subcontinent culture, traditions, and other aspects of the people of India got affected and it was changed subsequently. It was changed. So many changes were being brought. How this happened? Who all people are responsible for these changes? And we will also study about the name of the country, how it has been named, how the name was derived. So, okay. So, Al-Adrisi, let us start. Al-Adrisi was a cartographer. Al-Idrisi was a cartographer. Cartographer means, I'll write in a separate this one. He was a cartographer. He was a cartographer who was interested in making out different maps of different countries. Okay, he was a cartographer who was interested in making maps of different geographical areas or regions. Okay, he was from France. So Al-Idrisi, who was he? He was a French cartographer. Okay, we can write that. He was a French cartographer. If we will write French cartographer, no need to write the last sentence. That is, he was from France. Okay. So he was a French cartographer who was interested in making maps of different geographical areas or regions. Okay. In 1154, what he did, he gave a large sketch of the Indian subcontinent. Okay. In 1700, this one, he gave a large sketch of the Indian subcontinent as known in the earlier times. That means, what was his significant work? He gave a map, or rather cartographic map, of Indian subcontinent. Cartographic map of Indian subcontinent. Okay. So, since India was not very much known to the outer world, he gave a cartographic map of Indian subcontinent. Cartographic map. Yeah, cartographer is a person who derives or makes map. Cartographer is a person who makes map. Yes. Okay. So Al-Idrisi Al-Idrisi was basically, he was a person who is responsible for making out the Indian subcontinent cartographic map. Yeah, he had traveled to France and many other portions of the world. His origin is from from Arab countries. Okay, Arabian origin he is from, and he was a person who was very much interested in giving out the maps. Basically, he was a cartographer, and for the first time, he also released the Indian subcontinent map. Indian subcontinent map. Okay, his origin is from Arab, and is somewhere from the this one near up in the Central Asia, and he gave out the map regarding the Indian subcontinent. And Al-Idrisi, a very important and striking feature about Al-Idrisi was that when he gave out the subcontinent map of Indian subcontinent, one important feature was that no term, TERM, no term as South India. That is, South India term was not mentioned in Al-Idrisi's map. South India term was not mentioned in Al-Idrisi's map. And he would expect, that means basically, let us see what are the striking features. I'll tell you date. Features of Al-Idrisi map about Indian subcontinent. See, the first one was that, very interesting feature is that the map which he released, it was basically keeping in mind keeping in view about the North Indian culture, traditions, and the customs that the people used to follow. The second important feature was that his map, as of the present, or apart from factuality, Sri Lanka lies at the south of India, whereas in his map it was just shown opposite. That is, Sri Lanka was on the top. Okay, Sri Lanka was on the top. Okay, so and there are also some of the names mentioned in his map. Like there is a place in Uttar Pradesh known as Kannauj. Okay, I'll write everything. And in his map, in the Al Adrisi's map, that place is termed or named as Kannauj. That is Q. As of now, it starts from Kanauj, Kannauj. Whereas in Al Adrisi's map, it was mentioned as Qanaj, Kannauj. Okay. So there are so many things. He also published his map giving details about the coastal areas of India, which was very much helpful for the sailors, European sailors. Coastal areas of India. And I had already said no South India term was there in his map. It was just the Indian subcontinent. Okay, so it was an important feature. Now, let us see what were the features that he gave in his map. What were the features that Al-Adrisi, who was from Arab, he gave in his map, cartographic map about Indian subcontinent. The first one is, please mute your mic whose mic is unmuted. Please mute your mic. Mute the mic. Someone's mic is on. Please mute it. Okay. Al-Idrisi gave detailed geographical features about coastal parts of India. Coastal parts of India. Second, Sri Lanka in Al-Idrisi's map is located at the top. Third, South India term is not mentioned in Al-Idrisi map. It is Indian subcontinent. It is Indian subcontinent. Okay, very important points. Please note it down. Al-Idrisi, who was from Arab and was a cartographer, that is a person who is interested in making out maps. He gave a detailed geographical features about coastal parts of India, both eastern and the western coastal parts, that is towards the Arabian Sea as well as towards the Bay of Bengal part of coastal parts of India, which helped the Europeans later on, which helped the Europeans and the sailors to visit India. Okay. Second, Sri Lanka. Someone's mic is unmuted. Please mute it. Sri Lanka, and please keep on noting it down. Keep it noting it down in your social science pair register by giving proper date, and writing the name of the chapter as well as the number of the chapter. Chapter number 1, tracing changes to 1,000 years. Okay. The second was, it was his map. His map was in such a way, that means he drew the Indian subcontinent map in such a way that Sri Lanka was at the top of the Indian subcontinent. That means we can say that in a rough manner that he drew the map which is opposite to what is that from original geographical feature. Opposite. From top to bottom it was just opposite, not from left to right. It was from top to bottom, which was opposite, drawn or sketched on his map, which was sketched on the Al-Idrisi's map. Okay. Then the third one is South India term was not mentioned. South India term was not mentioned. It was mentioned very later. It was not mentioned in Al-Idrisi's map. It was only the Indian subcontinent regarding its culture, customs and people's society, social behavior of the people. Now, what is the importance? Let us see or discuss about the importance of cartography. I hope you all must have noted it down. Please note it down. Okay. Please note it down.
So the word written beside the in first beside gave is
Detailed, DETAILED, detailed geographical features. Okay. Now, what is or what are, if suppose I ask a question, what are the importance of cartography? What are the importance of cartography? Can anyone answer me? Please unmute your mic one by one. Yeah, anyone? Roll number 64. What are the importance of cartography? Roll number 64. Okay, no answer. Roll number 13, Prateek.
Sir, cartography make easier to trade and commerce.
What? Okay, make easier.
Trade and commerce.
Okay. Very good.
So it is studying and practicing map.
Studying and practicing map. Oh, okay. Mute your mic. All of
Can
you.
help us to locate different places.
Yeah, it helps. Yeah, it helps in the location of different places. Very good. Whoever answered it, very good. Okay, please mute your mic. All of you. Very good answers. All of you have been. So, what are the importance of cartography? See, cartography helps in making maps of different places, of different geographical places, which help in finding the location of places. Please mute your mic. Mic is unmute. Mute it. All of you, please mute your mic and nobody will share their screens. Voice is clear now. Are you getting? Vikal Mane? Okay. So importance of cartography. Please mute your mic, all of you. Someone's mic is unmuted. Please mute it. It disturbs the class in between, please. Yeah. Cartography, thank you. Cartography helps in making the maps of different geographical places, which help in finding the location of different places. It also helps for the sailors. It also helps the sailors or the voyagers who move in search of different locations. Okay, so cartography is a skill. Cartography is a skill of making maps. Simply, we can say cartography is a skill of making or drawing or sketching maps of different geographical areas. Different geographical areas. Any doubt till now? If anyone is having any doubt till now in any term, please ask me. Any confusion? Unmute your mic and ask, or else we'll move to next topic. Okay. Okay. So cartographer again, cartographer Al-Idrisi, Arab Al-Idrisi from Arabian part. He was a very good cartographer who sketched the Indian subcontinent's map, which helped other sailors and voyagers to locate India in the world and reach it. The cartography is the skill of drawing or sketching maps of different locations, different geographical locations. Now comes new and old terminologies. This is our next topic. New and old terminologies. See, what is that? Please understand this. In this writing, you can make your own points while I will be discussing with you. Whatever important points you want, you can make it or write it down in your notebook. This is more a part of the discussion. New and old terminologies. Terminologies means the part or a term which has been coined or given for different names of different, it may be place, it may be culture, it may be anything where people give or people change the term, the word from time to time based upon, very important, based upon their language, based upon their pronunciation. Okay, new and old terminologies, how they are being formed because of the change, of language, pronunciation, and to some extent it is also changed due to custom. Okay, to some extent it is also changed due to custom. So new and old terminologies means the term, new term which has been changed from time to time by the people who either visited that place, that part. It may be India as a whole nation, or it may be a part, any place of or within the Indian subcontinent. Now, there was a Persian chronicler known as Minhaj-e-Siraj. Okay. Persian chronicler known as Minhaj-e-Siraj. What is chronicler? Okay, I'll write it. Was a Persian Hello cadets, an important announcement. Those who have submitted the undertaking of not recording the live session or even the doubt clearance session which are taken by our teachers from this school. Okay, so do not record or any other thing should be there, and please those who have given, those parents, those who have given their or submitted their undertakings of not recording the sessions, they are, those who have not submitted it, please submit in the Gmail account of the school, that is Sainik School 2019 @gmail.com. And those who have submitted, well and good, thanks for their support. And those who have not still, please submit the undertakings. Please submit the undertakings at the Sainik School 2019 Gmail account. Thank you. Okay. Now coming up to the next topic, Minhaj-e-Siraj. New and old terminologies basically means how the terminologies are changed. How the terminologies are changed because of the language, it can be because of the pronunciation, and also to some extent the culture and custom of the people who visit from different areas. Culture and custom of the people who visit from different areas. This was how the new and old, this is the topic of the new topic, new and old terminologies. Okay, new and old terminologies, how they are being changed because on the basis of language, pronunciation, as well as the custom of those who come from outside. We have studied about the Indian subcontinent. Those who came from outside this continent, they, from their point of view, from their, according to their accent, according to their language, pronunciation, they gave different terms of different areas, or even the name of our land, our country, based upon their language. Okay, we had seen the example of Kannauj in Uttar Pradesh, how it was named as Kannauj. Okay, Q, starting from Q. Now, Minhaj-e-Siraj, he was a Persian chronicler. What is chronicler? A person who writes or a person who depicts. Vital Manes, you are asking about undertaking on WhatsApp. No. Please submit your undertaking or everyone's undertaking on the Gmail account, that is Sainik School 2019 @gmail.com. Please. Okay. Now, please do not disturb in between. It has already been announced. Okay, coming up to the topic, Minhaj-e-Siraj. He was a Persian chronicler. Chronicler is a person who writes or depicts the different events which occurred in a series. Okay, that is from period-wise period. For example, Babar. I'm just giving an example because about this we will be studying in the very next topic. That is why I'm giving this relevant topic related to our chapter itself or what we are discussing now. For example, Babar. He came to India in 1526 AD. Okay, and he fought the Battle of Panipat. He ruled India for next 4 years. After him, there was Mughal Emperor. He also founded the Mughal Emperor, and after him, Humayun became the second Mughal Emperor. After that, Sher Shah Suri, who dethroned Humayun. Again, after Akbar, this process went on. It is just an example. Okay, this process went on. So, in the process or in the series of acquiring the throne at Delhi Sultanate or acquiring the throne of Delhi, it was either in Delhi Sultanate or after it during the Mughal period. All these series, all these incidents were to be taken or given in the phased wise manner or in a series manner. So the person who makes the series or arranges the events in a series of events which occurred in the past, that is known as chronicler. What is chronicler? Suppose I ask a question, who is chronicler, or who is a chronicler, for example? Who is a chronicler? Okay, so a chronicler is a person, please note it down, who arranges the events that occurred in past in a series manner. In a series manner. Okay. Not randomly. In a serial manner. How it was occurred and in the same manner it was depicted. In the same manner it was written. That is known as chronicler. Okay. Chronicler Anand Kundale, okay, chronological manner. Very good. In a very chronological manner. From chronology, it has termed as chronicler, the person who writes or gives the events which occurred in the past in a chronological manner or in a series manner. Okay, serial manner. Medieval means the middle part. I had already discussed in the beginning of the class, Balkrishna Deshmukh. So, now let us see about Minhaj-e-Siraj. Okay, who was this person? Minhaj-e-Siraj. He was from Persia, that is Persia आज के डेट में ईरान को बोलते हैं. Okay, Iran. He was from Persia and he was also a chronicler. What important thing did he do that someone mic is not muted, please mute it. He was a chronicler who wrote in Persian language for the areas about Punjab, अभी के समय का, okay, Punjab, Haryana, and the area between Ganga and Yamuna, and the area between Ganga and Yamuna rivers. He used the term, very important please, he used the term in a political sense. He used the term in a political sense related to the lands which lie in the areas of Punjab, again, Punjab, Haryana, near about Delhi, as well as the land, the geographical land between Ganga and Yamuna. Ganga and Yamuna. Okay. He gave the areas which was shifted with the extent of the term. That means he never included the term, again, very important, he never included the term South India. It was just India, the entire subcontinent, right from, as his term, as according to the Persian chronicler Minhaj-e-Siraj, right from Punjab up to the very south point of the Indian subcontinent, it was termed as India itself. It was termed as India itself. Okay. We will see how the term Hindustan, Hind, and India was termed. How the terms, different terms of Hindustan, Hind, and India was evolved by different people from different, or from which varied from time to time in the next live session. So Minhaj-e-Siraj was a chronicler who wrote, he was a person who wrote in the Persian language for areas about Punjab, Haryana, and the land between Ganga and Yamuna. It automatically comes about or talks about Delhi because Delhi is situated at the bank of river Yamuna. Okay. He did not give the term South India. He did not give the term South India. Okay. So in the next live session, we'll study about very little portion about Amir Khusro, who was a very great poet. And he gave the term, he was in the 14th century poet, Delhi Sultanate. He gave the term Hind, and from Hind, how Hindustan came to be known as, and India, it is derived from Sindh. Okay, so all these terms, about all these terms, we will study in the next live session. Any doubt, if anyone having, please ask me. Last 1 minute of this live session. Yes.
Dominion means
Hello.
Dominion
Please ask
means
again. Yeah, it was.
Dominion.
Yeah, I got it. It is related, or it refers to the geographical place. Okay, it refers to the geographical place. Any
Sir,
other doubt?
please explain chronicler.
Chronicler is a person who arranges the different historical events in a chronological manner. You can write it down if you want. Chronicler is a person who arranges different historical events that occurred in the past
Sir,
in
contrast means
the chronological manner, or in the series manner. I hope it is clear. Yeah, someone wanted to ask.
sir, contrast means
Contrast, that is not in agreement. Suppose someone wants to give a term, for example, X to a place. I am not in that opinion. I want to give that place name as Y, or I want to name that place as Y. So that is the contrast. That is basically not having in total agreement with the opinion, which is not related, and still the place has been named something just opposite to what it reveals according to its culture. So anyone is having any doubt, please can ask me.
sir,
And
cultural
mark
entity.
your attendance. Yes.
Cultural entity.
Hello. Cultural identity.
Yes, sir, entity.
Entity. Okay. Cultural entity. That means a person who represents his own culture. Okay. Entity means an object, a person. It can be referred as a community, an ethnic group. Okay, that is entity. An object, a person, a community, and who represents his or their culture. Within culture, language, clothing, everything comes. Okay. Any doubt?
Thank you, sir.
So why all people are interested in India? All other countries people are interested in India.
Are interested in India? In what term?
Sir, for trading or for visiting India.
Because of its large market, because of its large population, because of its advantageous geographical position. Large coastal areas are there in India, and India is having one of the largest markets, the consumable largest markets. So many people, and India is itself a great land right from the beginning. So it has a very geographical advantages and cultural and historical strong background.